Hello, everybody. Candle lighting time this evening is 3:58. Today is the first day of Chanukah. I want to wish everyone a very happy Chanukah and a very joyous and meaningful Shabbos. The Talmud tells us how exactly we're supposed to light the Chanukah candles, the Chanukah lights. The Talmud says that to fulfill the mitzvah of lighting the lights on Chanukah, we have to light one candle on the first night, one candle on the second night, one candle the third night. Each night of Chanukah, we only light just one candle. And one person does it for all the members of the household. Everyone living in the house are all included in the mitzvah of that one person lighting the one candle each night for everybody. Then the Talmud says, if you would like to beautify the mitzvah, then everyone should have their own candle that they light each night, instead of just one person doing it for everybody. And then the Talmud continues and says, if you want to do it the most possible beautiful way, known as Mahadrin Mina Mahadrin, then we should add one candle each night. So on the first night you light one, on the second night you light two, on the third night three, and so on. And that is the way we do the mitzvah today. We light the Chanukah candles by adding one each night. But the question is, why is the mitzvah of Chanukah different from all the other mitzvahs that we do? Most of the mitzvahs can be done in a simple way, a more beautiful way, a very beautiful way, but even the simple way, the basic way, is still the kosher way. For example, somebody can buy an esrig that we use on Sukkot, and you can buy a basic esrig, which is nice. It's not the most beautiful esrig, but it's a kosher esrig. Somebody wants to spend more money and buy a more beautiful esrig. Somebody wants to spend a lot of money and buy a really beautiful esrig. You can buy a pair of tefillin, which is a basic pair of kosher tefillin, and they're not expensive at all. Some people want to get a more beautiful pair of tefillin, a very beautiful pair of tefillin that costs much more money. And the same thing with all the different things, different standard in kosher. There's a higher standard of kosher, the basic standard of kosher. And everybody in the world does it the way they choose to do it. As long as you do the mitzvah in a way that is the basic doing of the mitzvah is an accepted kosher way according to the Torah law, you're fine. It's nicer, of course, to do it in a more beautiful way. But when it comes to Chanukah, there's nobody in the world who lights one candle each night. Everyone does it the most beautiful possible way. Everyone adds one candle each night. So the question is why? So to understand this, we have to understand the persecution of the Greek Empire against the Jewish people in the land of Israel. They were not out to kill the Jewish people like in the story of Purim, where Haman wanted to kill all the Jews. They wanted the Jewish people to abandon their style of worship to the Almighty. They didn't like the Jewish people putting God into so much of their service, that everything is the Torah is God's Torah, the mitzvahs are commandments from God. That they didn't like. They wanted us to openly admit that we have no share in the God of Israel. You want to do a mitzvah? Do the mitzvah because it makes sense. It's a nice thing to do. It's maybe a healthy thing for the person, but not because God told us to do it. That means that they wanted to remove God from our religion. What is the whole beauty of Judaism? That God gave us the Torah. God commanded us to do the mitzvahs. God is the whole essence of our religion. God is the essence of our whole being. And to remove God from our service and our religion, you're left with nothing. So because they wanted to remove God from our religion, that means they wanted to take away the beauty of Yiddishkeit. So when we were victorious against them and we drove them out of the land of Israel, The way we celebrate is by lighting the menorah in the most beautiful way, the best possible beautiful way. They would have probably liked, if they would have granted us to light the menorah, they probably would have said, yeah, light one candle each night. But now that we were victorious and God created the great miracle of Chanukah, both on the battlefield and also in the holy temple with the burning of the menorah, the lights of the menorah lasted 8 days. So we celebrate by doing it the most beautiful way. And when we add a candle each night, we're also adding the light that drives away the darkness of the outside world. And this should inspire us that all the mitzvahs we do should be done by constantly increasing in the mitzvah, either increasing the quality of the mitzvah, increasing the amount of times we do the mitzvah, and thereby we will be adding so much light to the outside world that it will drive away the darkness of exile and bring about the immediate redemption of Mashiach taking us out of this exile. Have a wonderful Shabbos and a very joyous Chanukah.